As you can see here, I've got some things on my desktop, um, and we usually try to keep this pretty clean and keep it organized. Um, a cool thing that you can do right away is you can change your desktop background to an image of your choosing so that you feel like it is your own computer. I want you to customize things so that they work best for you. So one of the first things you can do is just select an image that feels best for your particular style. I'm going to go with this Big Sur Night Grasses. And I'm going to add that in as my desktop picture. There's a little download button there to pull it from the cloud, and there we are. For simplicity's sake, though, let's choose something that you can really see pictures against. Oh, you can just choose a color. Okay. So you saw me just click a red dot to close that. And that works out really well when I'm in certain spots. I can hit a red dot like this and it will close something. The one next to it, yellow, will minimize it, and you saw it go down here. I can click on it, it comes back. The last one is maximize, or you'll commonly refer to it as full screen mode. It is handy sometimes, but I will say it can be a little bit complicated on certain programs, especially when we're switching between them. So don't always click that button. Now in this program, if I hit the X, it closes. But in other programs, let's say like Safari or Google Chrome, when you click on that, it opens up its own window that floats in the middle. Sometimes dancing while it's trying to load. Once it is up, it has a window. I could make more windows. All of these stacking together, I can move them around. This bar stays up here always. It is not attached to here like you may be familiar with in a Windows computer. When I hit the X, it does not close the program. The dot at the bottom here indicates that that is still working. It is still open. Up at the top, next to the apple, it says Safari, which is the program that we have selected here. And even if I close all the windows, it still says Safari up here. That is because it is still a running and active program even without any windows. In order to quit a program, you must do one of two things. You click on the name of the program and you go down to quit. There's also a key command, which is Command Q, and that will automatically quit. Or you can come down to the icon for the program that's running with the dot underneath it and right click to see quit. Those are two ways that you can quit the program. Now that I've quit that program and it's no longer active, it says Finder up here. This is kind of like Windows Explorer. It is the way we see the files on the computer and view all the things that we need to navigate to. It is a symbol down here that looks like this blue and white face. It is called, again, the Finder. Now, anytime you click on that, it's going to bring up your Finder window, whatever you're working on. You can open up more than one Finder window. You've got little shortcuts on the side. We can add more shortcuts to this. We can also subtract things, so just be careful about what you do dragging things around. It can affect your experience. One of the first things that we'll do with the Finder is that we will go down to the bottom of this and we will make ourselves discoverable by our phones and by other computers by changing it to allow me to be discovered by not no one, but everyone. That will then make your Mac show up on other screens based on your Mac number. You'll notice that in a little pink label stuck to your computer in front of you. You will also notice any other active computers popping up here, and you will notice if your phone is active and your AirDrop is turned on, you can see your phone's name pop up. That just means that you're able to communicate wirelessly between these devices. So if I wanted to share something, like a certain file I have on the computer, let's go ahead and make a screenshot real quick. This screenshot that just popped up in the bottom is going to appear on my desktop. Done. Okay, there it is. If I wanted to send this to my computer from this computer, I can just drag and drop it on there, and it's just waiting for me to accept that on my all other computer. Now, if I want to cancel this, I can click on it and cancel. Maybe I sent it to the wrong person, or maybe it was the wrong file. So Finder is active right now. If I want to quit the Finder, I can't do it. Why? This is something that constantly needs to be running. It's how we access our files. Next, the thing at the bottom of the screen here that I referred to before is called the dock. Currently, I'm recording video with this program called QuickTime Player. Again, you'll notice the black dot underneath it. To the right of that active program here is our Downloads shortcut folder. This isn't a real folder, it's just a shortcut to show you what's in my Downloads folder. Currently nothing. But if I were to put something in it, say this screenshot, now that symbol has turned into the screenshot. And when I click on it, it opens up this drawer that shows me what's in my downloads. Now this is just a preview, and unfortunately, it's very easy to drag this out and remove it. Try not to do that. Try not to delete it. Often you will want to drag this file out because you think it's the file. It's not. It's a folder. So when you want to get things out of the Downloads folder, open in Finder. It'll open the drawer, and it will give you that file. Now, another cool thing about the Finder, as we go along here, is that you can organize it in a bunch of different ways. As I change the size of this, you can see some symbols popping up at the top. Those symbols are right here. It changes the view that you see when you're looking at a folder. So currently, I'm in columns view. It shows items as icons in a list in columns or in a gallery. Those are all kinds of different things that you can do. Here, this is just icons. Here, this is a list. This is columns, which will show me where it is on my computer. I'm in the hard drive, I'm in users, then my username, then the downloads folder, and inside of my downloads folder is this screenshot. If I were to add a folder here, test, and put my screenshot inside of the folder, when I click on that folder, it will open up and show me where it is. So a folder inside of a folder inside of a folder makes this long path shown in the path bar down at the bottom. This is a really nice view when you're moving things around or need to know where you are on the computer. Finally, we have Film Strip View. This will show a series of images and allow you to see one large preview and continue along the side here. This is just providing you more information about the file you've clicked on, like what type of image it is or what type of file, how large is it, when was it created, when was it changed, when was it last opened, and any other details about that particular file, in this case, the size of it. This calendar looking button is actually how we arrange things. So let's say you made a mess dragging all this stuff around and you wanted to organize it better. We can click here and we can say organize by name, and it will put them in order of name and so on, kind, application, date, all that stuff. This can be handy when dealing with a lot of pictures. This is your share button. It will allow you to share various things, especially through AirDrop. We won't be connecting mail or messages. You can put it in a note. You can add it to Google, or not Google Photos, but this is actually Apple Photos, which I'm not going to suggest you use. Reminders, really, it's just for AirDrop. You can tag things, usually with colors, if that helps you sort things. That'll only be visible on this computer. And then here is a larger menu. So I'm going to close that up again. Let's go back down to this dock. Now, in here, I have very few programs. I want to slim this down to only things that I'm going to use in this class. And I'm not going to use maps. There's really no reason for me to be using that in this class. So if I want to customize this, I can just grab onto a program, pull it out, as long as I act quickly. If I click and hold, I'm going to get this menu, the same as if I had right-clicked. So let's try that again. I clicked off, fast click and drag, it says remove. That will allow me to, poof, take it out of there. If I have whittled down my list to appear as what you see here with the Finder, the Launchpad, Safari, App Store, System Preferences, Google Chrome. This one you won't need open. That's just the one that I'm running my video off of right now. Downloads. This is an open window that I'm going to show you about in a little bit. And then this is our trash can. That is how this should appear across here, excluding this guy. Now, if you were able to drag out all the programs to eventually get whittled down to here, then we can add in some new ones. Next to the Finder is the Launchpad. Currently, it's downloading an update. When I click on it, I see all these icons. This is all the programs that you have to run on this computer. There are multiple pages. You can see them as dots down at the bottom. You can swipe on your mouse to move back, left, and right, and a fast swipe will turn pages. They may or may not be organized in a uniform way, so sometimes you need to swipe around to find what you need. In this case, we're going to be adding a few programs. First off, we're going to be adding Adobe Lightroom Classic LRC. We'll add it not by clicking on it, but by dragging it into the dock here. It'll make a space where I want to put it. I'm going to put it on the far right. It will not let you drag it over into this area. This is for different things. I'm going to grab Photoshop, and I'm going to pull that down into the list here. Great. And then lastly, we are going to find the program called Krita, Krita, and we're going to drag that in. those are all the programs that we need to add into here. If we need anything else out of this mix, we will go into the Launchpad and find it. There's no reason to crowd our experience down here. It's not necessary. Okay. So how do I exit this? Well, you can hit the Escape key on your keyboard, or you can click the Launchpad and it'll make it go away. The Launchpad is not a program. It is a view of a program. It is a view of the Finder, actually. Finder is still our active program. Now I'm going to do one thing that you're going to be prompted to do probably right away. It's this thing called Creative Cloud. Chances are it popped up the moment that you got into this computer. It's going to ask you to sign in. You're going to sign in using your Google email address. Then, after getting in through the first step of Creative Cloud with your email address, it's going to have you sign in to Google. Those two steps will have all of the sign up that you need to do in order to use the programs that we have on the computer that are the professional programs. So know that you have to do that twice. It may ask you some questions. I will gladly guide you along the way. Now, let's take a look at Google Chrome. Google Chrome is our base #1 default internet browser. Safari is a backup. It may be the one you're comfortable using on your phone, but because we use so many Google products, we need to use Google Chrome in order to use them most efficiently. Once this opens up, you want to make sure that you're logged in with your credentials. It is important that you have one of these profiles as your school email address. You also need to have one that is your personal. When you are in through this, you can add profiles this way by going up to Profiles at the top and choosing Add Profile. It will give you a sign in and you can follow those steps. You need to always keep active both accounts so that we're able to transfer images between accounts and do certain things. When you need to switch between Google's programs, you will always click on this 9-dot grid and find the thing that you're looking for, like Google Classroom or Google Photos, anything that's going to be most helpful. Many of you may just type in Google, then you have to click on that, then it takes you to the Google homepage for Google Photos, then you go to Google Photos, then you sign in. Had you instead, on the very first page, hit the 9 dots and clicked Google Photos, it would immediately take you there where you can sign in if you're not already signed in. It saves a few steps and it's a quicker change. These up here are called tabs. I can open multiple tabs. I can close them. I can pull one out and I can put it back. If I needed to look at pictures of cats and I needed to look at, let's say, some other website on cat information, like let's find information, 5 interesting things about cats. Oh, the domestic cat on National Geographic. If I want to look at pictures of cats and do some reading on cats and compare my information, what I can do is I can pull this out over here, and I can keep this over here. I can resize them to put them next to one another. Since they're all floating, everything remains quite flexible. If I'm moving through them and I want them to be even and fill my screen, there's some cool tricks like window, tile window left. It'll put it on the left. And then I'll ask you over here, of the windows that you have, what would you like to put on the right? The more things I have open, the more options I'll have. And now I can put them side by side and operate them that way. So I'm not looking to sign in to National Geographic. How do you get out of this? Well, you can usually run your cursor up into the top of the screen. That's usually an effective way. You can hit the escape key sometimes, but this is the curse of using full screen modes. Occasionally, the exit from the top does not work. This bar that allows you to change the ratio of which one occupies the most space also does not work. It doesn't get you the list at the top. So how do I get out of this thing if I get stuck in full screen mode? If you look down at your keyboard, Command Tab will hold up this whole big list of whatever programs you have open. In order to keep this up here, I'm still holding Command, but I've let go of Tab. I can click on the program that I want to switch to. In this case, I'm still going to click on Google Chrome. There we go. And now I can exit out of this. This doesn't always happen, but it's important to know that it can happen, that you can get stuck in full screen mode. We hit the plus right there and we'll be able to get out of it. There's also another button that's really handy. If you look at your keyboard and press the letter F3, okay, it's top row, you get this interesting thing where it displays everything that you have open. In this case, I've got this full screen mode thing open. I've got this one too, and I can undo that, and then I can look at my desktop. That F3 is letting you see everything displayed in case you've made a mess of your whole screen. If I want to quit Chrome, Chrome quit, Command Q, or down here,